The early 20th century was a golden age for the accordion, an era when a once humble folk instrument found its place on the grand stage of popular entertainment. At the heart of this musical revolution was Pietro Frosini, a Sicilian-born virtuoso celebrated as one of the first true stars of the accordion. Born on August 9, 1885 in Mascalucia, Sicily, Pietro Giuffrida, later known as Pietro Frosini, was destined to revolutionize the world of accordion music. At just 4 years old, he began playing a toy accordion, and by 6, he had mastered his father's chromatic button accordion. In the 1890s, the accordion was considered a folk instrument not fit for conservatories. So in 1895, at just 10 years old, Pietro enrolled in the Municipal Conservatory of Fine Arts in Catania to study cornet instead. This turned out to be a blessing in disguise. It honed his breath control and musical discipline, skills he would later channel into exceptional bellows technique on the accordion. By 1898, Pietro became a protege of Maestro Paolo Frontini, a respected Sicilian composer. Under Frontini's guidance, the teenager studied composition, harmony, and counterpoint, a rigorous classical training that set him apart from the average accordion player. In fact, Pietro would later adopt Frosini as his stage name in tribute to his mentor Frontini. With a solid musical foundation and youthful ambition, Frosini was poised to expand his horizons beyond Sicily. In the early 1900s, the world beyond Sicily beckoned. After completing studies in 1902, Frosini briefly served as a cornetist in a British Navy band stationed in Malta. Fate intervened when a bout of malaria damaged his lip and cut short his brass career. Pietro returned to his first love, the accordion, just as a new opportunity arose. In 1905, while performing Suppe's Poet and Peasant Overture on his accordion, Frosini was discovered by a talent scout from the Orpheum Vaudeville circuit. The agent saw huge potential for this unusual instrument on the popular stage. That same year, 20-year-old Frosini emigrated to the United States, arriving in California to begin a career in vaudeville spotlight. Vaudeville was the beating heart of American entertainment in the early 20th century, a nationwide circuit of variety theaters hungry for novel acts. Pietro Frosini fit the bill perfectly. Billed as Frosini, Wizard of the Accordion, he wowed audiences across the country with technical brilliance and old-world charm. By 1907, he was a headlining attraction on major stages, including New York's prestigious Keith Orpheum Circuit. Even as Frosini's live performances made a splash, he was also breaking new ground in recording. In an era when sound recording was still a novelty, he became one of the first accordionists to record on Edison wax cylinders, cutting-edge technology of the time. Frosini's fame quickly spread internationally. In 1911, he embarked on a triumphant tour of England's music halls. For 6 weeks, he played to packed houses in London's top venues, including a command performance for King George V, a rare honor for any vaudeville artist. By this time, Pietro Frosini was not just a performer, but a bona fide celebrity in the accordion world, helping elevate the instrument's profile on both sides of the Atlantic. Frosini also performed a bit of visual trickery to keep up with trends. By 1916, he discreetly attached a dummy piano keyboard over the button board of his accordion. The modification didn't change the way he played. It was purely cosmetic. But to vaudeville crowds, the instrument now looked like the exciting new piano accordion they'd heard about. In reality, Frosini still played his preferred chromatic button accordion under the hood, but the fake keys gave the illusion of modernity. This clever stunt, born of showmanship, is legendary among accordion enthusiasts. It showed how far performers would go to win over audiences. By 1925, after 2 decades on the road, Frosini's health began to falter, and he made the difficult decision to scale back his touring schedule. He had married Alfried Larsen in 1920, a Danish-born music hall performer he met during his travels. And by 1924, they settled into a new home in the Beechhurst neighborhood of Queens, New York. The late 1920s also saw Frosini embracing the recording studio once again. After a brief hiatus from recording, he signed on with Victor Records to make new accordion records in 1928, and later with Decca in 1934. Notably, the majority of these late 1920s to 30s recordings were of Frosini's own original compositions, a testament to his reputation. By the early 1930s, however, the world of entertainment was undergoing a seismic shift. The advent of motion pictures was rapidly upending vaudeville. One by one, vaudeville theaters closed as Americans flocked to movie houses. In 1932, as the big vaudeville circuits folded, Frosini made a savvy career pivot. He became a staff accordionist for WOR Radio in New York City. On radio, Frosini's music reached listeners in their homes, proving that the accordion could thrive in the new medium. He played live broadcasts for nearly 2 decades on WOR, from the Depression through World War II, providing a cheerful soundtrack to troubled times. It's noted that in those Depression years, he even lent his talents to accompany silent films in cinemas until sound technology took over. The late 1930s and 1940s saw an accordion boom, with the instrument's popularity soaring to unprecedented heights. Clubs and contests sprang up, and thousands learned to play. Pietro Frosini, broadcasting on the airwaves and publishing new music, was both a driving force in this boom and a revered elder statesman of the accordion community. By the 1940s, he had composed over 200 original works for the accordion, making him one of the accordion's great creative minds. In the mid-1940s, Pietro Frosini was in his 60s and had devoted his life to the accordion. In 1949, the newly formed American Accordionists Association, which had been founded a decade earlier to advance the instrument, presented Frosini with a special plaque for outstanding ability, service, and accomplishment in the accordion field. This award was bestowed at the AAA's first annual banquet in New York City, and fittingly, it was Pietro Darrow, Frosini's old friend and one-time rival, who handed him the plaque. That moment of recognition was one of Frosini's last public highlights. Behind the scenes, he was coping with personal loss. His wife Alfrida had passed away earlier in 1949, which dealt a heavy blow to his spirit. In the summer of 1951, after unremitting illness over 2 months, Pietro Frosini died peacefully in his sleep on September 2nd, 1951, at the age of 66. News of his passing reverberated through the accordion world. He had lived to see the accordion reach incredible heights of popularity, due in no small part to his own contributions. Now, an era had ended, but his musical legacy was just beginning to write its next chapter. In retrospect, Pietro Frosini's journey mirrored the evolution of the accordion itself. He took an instrument once dismissed by academies and spotlighted it on vaudeville stages, in royal theaters, on records, and over radio to millions of ears. He bridged folk tradition and high art, bringing classical finesse to popular entertainment. Today, whenever an accordion bellows out a rich melody, be it on a concert stage or a street corner, one can hear echoes of Frosini's pioneering spirit. His life was a testament to the accordion's expressive power, and his legacy endures in every heartfelt squeeze of the bellows and every cheerful tune that makes an audience tap its toes in delight. Pietro Frosini, the wizard of the accordion, may have taken his final bow in 1951, but his music plays on, a lively and enduring soundtrack to the history of the accordion.